Lori, and I am married to Scott, and we have a son, Logan, who's 3, and a new baby, Lily, who's 3 months. And Logan has been raised just like every other kid in America in the medical profession, and I had a C-section. He was born like that. He was vaccinated and fed everything that kids are fed today. And although I did do a lot of organic blah 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 as a baby, and that's my little triumph. But at 14 months, Logan had a seizure, and I didn't really know what it was. And my mom actually was sitting at the table with me, and when Logan had this seizure, and she said, "Oh, he's just a kid. Kids are weird sometimes." So I was like, "All right." And throughout the next year, Logan had more and more and more and more and more. So they were about 1 every 3 days, and then they went up to about 12 a day. Oh. And I had been to the doctor. They said the same thing. Kids are growing. Stuff gets a little glitchy. Continue with it, whatever. So finally I went to the doctor and I said, "Kate, now we need to do something because he's terrible. He's horrible." He had one in front of her. I'd researched the type of it. I've had 6 videotapes of Logan having the seizures. And she said, "Okay, let's get to work on this." So I was referred to a neurologist at Texas Children's, and we went down and we had EKGs done on him, 24-hour EKGs, a sleep-deprived EKG, MRI under anesthesia, which is the most traumatic thing a mom can go through with a 3-year-old boy. And they all came back and said nothing. And all the neurologists said, "Nothing's wrong with him, nothing's wrong with him. We can't find anything. Since we cannot diagnose this, we're just going to start with medicine. And we can see if the medicine alleviates the problem." And I said, "Okay, well, what kind of medicine do you have?" And they're like, "Well, all these drugs are adult drugs. We just lower the dose for children." And my husband and I said, "No, we're not going to do any kind of neuro drugs on our child right now." So we took him home, and I was devastated. My husband's devastated. If you know me, you know how devastated I get about my kids. And I was on email like 3 in the morning, and I'm a member of a mom page, and it's a local page, and I was just emailing, "Please, somebody, just anybody have any information that I could be missing here?" And a mom wrote me, and she said, "Go see Dr. Mahan. He's a chiropractor. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but he's a chiropractor. He's been seeing me and my children since birth, and my children are fine. They love him." She kind of gave me like a brief thing about how she goes in, her son runs up and high fives Dr. Mahan, and everything. And I said, she goes, "Just go. You can't hurt. Just go." And so I called the office that morning. I'm sitting there waiting for them to open. I called the office, and Catherine at the time said, "Come in. Just come in tonight. Make sure your husband's with you. Whatever." So we came in, and we kind of just told Dr. Mahan half of our story, just as much as I could spit out because we were kind of at the bottom of our hole here. And he said, "Okay, look, this is exactly what he told us." And he said, "Let's take an x-ray." We took an x-ray. He said, "Come back tomorrow. I want to talk to you about Logan's x-ray." We came back, and he gave us hope. We were hopeful. We went home that night, and I think it's the first night we actually slept. And we came back, and Logan had just very minimal subluxation on an x-ray. It was hard for me to see. I didn't know what I was looking at. And then, he kind of compared it to a correct spine, and it was so minimal, but that little tiny bit was causing Logan so much distress. I didn't even know who my child was. He was so gone. I couldn't have any interaction with him. And within 3 days, his seizures had dropped in half. And now he is seizure-free. Completely. And it's only been 8 months. And I just can't thank Dr. Mahan enough for what you've done for my family. And you can ask my husband, my family, every person I see, I tell about Dr. Mahan. And I piss a lot of people off, but you know what? I wish somebody would have just told me when I had my boy about chiropractic from the beginning. And I tell you what, I have a 3-month-old daughter, and she is the best, happiest, healthiest baby I've ever seen. I don't have any complaints about her. People are astounded at what a good baby she is, and she was adjusted the day she was born. So that's my story.
I don't know if there's much more to say after that. But, you know, I always want to make it clear that, you know, it's not me. It's not me who does the healing. Who does the healing?
God.
God.